watching East Tennessee's first and only year-round sports talk show on television. This is The Sports Source with your host, John Pennington.
Good Sunday morning, good super Sunday morning. We have a supersized show for you today. I don't know, and this is in all honesty, I don't know if we've ever had as many people covering as many topics in a 1 hour show as we are doing today. It is going to be jam-packed. Let's jump right into it. First segment of our show brought to you by Phil Cobble, Fine Homes and Land. And folks, when you need a realtor, you want someone who has all of the tools, all of the technology to sell your home. You want someone with a track record of success, and that person is Phil Cobble and his team at Phil Cobble, Fine Homes and Land. They are fantastic. East Tennessee's leading realtor since 1980. You see that they can go all over the place, but they really specialize there in Knox County, Blount County, Loudoun County. PhilCobbleHomes.com is the website. You see the phone number there, 675-7000. Give them a holler. Get in touch with them. They can help you sell your home, and certainly if you're looking for a home, they are the best folks to go to. Can't say enough good things about Phil Cobble, Fine Homes and Land. All right, up on today's show, I told you it was jam-packed. Here's what we got coming your way. First of all, Tennessee upends Bruce Pearl in his return to Knoxville. The Vols get the win. We keep saying we're not going to talk about the NCAA, we're just going to talk basketball, and yet darker clouds keep blowing in from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. We'll discuss the possible impact on Donnie Tyndall. We'll look at the offensive coordinator search a little bit, talk about Mike DeBoard, who remains the leader, it appears. We'll give you a full signing day preview. Josh Ward is with us. We're going to break down a lot of these guys, including on Wednesday, who you want to keep an eye on that could flip-flop to or from UT. Pearl, we asked last week, will he cry? He did. We'll take a look at that and see what folks think about his emotional display after the game yesterday. Arian Foster turns into a rat once again. We'll discuss that. Is Nathan Peterman about to become Nathan Pitterman by transferring to Pittsburgh? And we'll have some prop bets at the end of the show to discuss Super Bowl, Vol basketball, combine them, one question, fun. Join us. Mike Strange is right here from the Knoxville News Sentinel. Always glad to have him with us. Former Vol head coach Don DeVoe, 500-game winner. I always like to point this out. That would be like winning 20 games a year for 25 straight years. That's a remarkable achievement. Seated next to you, former Vol staff member Mark Pankratz, and next to you, former Vol staff member, former head coach at Appalachian State, Houston Fancher. Gentlemen, glad to have all of you here. Get to talk about a win at home. For a while there, it looked like Tennessee was going to struggle at home again. Yeah. They get by Auburn in kind of a disjointed game. Tennessee never really looked at ease. Auburn never looked at ease. The game clock wasn't at ease. You could make some questions about the officiating. It was an odd game, but Tennessee holds on, wins at 71-63. General thoughts on yesterday's victory over Bruce Pearl in his return to Knoxville?
Well, I thought the team came out and both teams played really hard. You know, I thought it was an example where you had two really good coaches with just mediocre talent at this point. But I thought they played really well together. Tennessee, the reason they separated themselves, they kept attacking the rim, and they won more 50-50 balls. They were the aggressor, and you saw that with Armani Moore's performance. I mean, he's the reason why Tennessee won that basketball game.
Great, Dave. I'm Moore.
I think the difference, too, they got to the free throw line. You know, you have an opportunity that showed the toughness of this team, the resiliency of this team. The game was won at the free throw line where the difference in the score, you could just take a look at the made free throws. We're shooting 74% right now from the free throw line in conference play, which is helping us. But the toughness of this team is a reflection of our basketball coach right now, and I think he deserves a ton of credit for this.
Don, you and I spoke yesterday afternoon, and you were impressed by the fact that Donnie Tyndall said afterwards, we didn't talk about Bruce Pearl.
Well, see, and that to me was the difference in the ball game. You had one team, Tennessee, playing to win. I thought Auburn was playing not to lose. This to me was kind of a classic Bruce Pearl attack. They had the ball and they would hold the ball for 20 seconds, and then they would try, a pick and roll. Yep. Maybe reverse the ball if they could. But to me, Tennessee was out there attacking all the way, and Arnie, Moore is just fantastic. I mean, what Houston said is so true. He just makes things happen, and to win the battle of the boards really was the difference in the ball game, in my opinion.
Auburn shot the ball really well for 30, 35 minutes. They were, we got our little monitors there, stat monitors. They were shooting 52, 53% well into that game, but they only made one of their last 10 shots, I believe, and that's vintage, the way Tennessee grinds on you. And Auburn didn't have the depth. Those guys played a lot of minutes, and I think they were gassed at the end.
It was reminiscent of what we've seen from Tennessee a couple of times this year when you just don't have you said it, there's not a ton of talent on either one of these teams right now. And that's no offense. These guys at Tennessee are winning. They're talented enough to be playing Division I basketball in a major conference. So let's get that out there. But in terms of your top 25, there's not a lot of talent out there to look at. And I think you've seen it with Tennessee, that's why you'll go on a stretch 10, 12 minutes without a bucket. That's why Auburn closes the game with one bucket. You just don't have any money men that you can count on, even though Josh Richardson for Tennessee has been on that on several occasions. Not quite a sellout yesterday. Best crowd of the year, though. Yeah. We wondered last week what the response would be. I think everybody projected it right. It sounded like the crowd gave Bruce Pearl a respectful applause, but then they gave Donnie Tyndall more. Your thoughts on that, Mike?
Yeah, that's exactly the way it was. Bruce came into the arena first. Very nice, warm welcome to him, and then Donnie came in a little later, and it amped up a little bit, which to me was the Tennessee fans saying, yeah, we like Bruce, but we're Tennessee fans, and this is our coach.
I thought Donnie said it right, too, and if you had a chance to read the paper this morning, he mentioned that we're all Tennessee fans. You know, people were fans of Bruce Pearl, people were fans of Conzo Martin, people were fans of Donnie Tyndall, but in the end, they were all Tennessee fans. So I think it showed yesterday. I think the true orange stood out yesterday, and the fans got to go home happy with what they needed to have.
This team, go ahead, Mark.
Well, and I was going to say, just walking into it, you could feel the emotion, though. It was just a different basketball game. I know both coaches kind of said, you know, it was just another game to them, but just even walking in as a fan, you felt the difference. And I went in the back after the game, and you saw some of their coaching staff, the Auburn coaching staff, had tears in their eyes because it was a big game. Their heart was here. And so, but I think it was a deserving response to Coach Pearl and Coach Tyndall. And the way Coach Tyndall handled this all week was impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
One thing about at the end of the game, Donnie Tyndall deferred or delayed his media thing so all the media could go over to Bruce and do Auburn. And it took quite a while. Yeah. It took quite a while. So then Donnie and the Tennessee guys did their thing.
It's a class move. It's also a move it's easier to pull that move when you're the guy with the win, too. That's good for him. Your thoughts on where Tennessee goes from here? You got Mississippi State and Georgia coming up this week. You know, you wallop to Mississippi State in Starkville, so you would expect to have success with them here. It's basketball. You can never project those things. Thoughts, though, on Mississippi State and a road trip to Georgia?
I find Mississippi State to be a team that you better be prepared for. You know, they just beat LSU.
Yep. Yeah.
This is a basketball team with a lot of athletes. In particular, I watched their game closely when they went to Auburn and just absolutely, dismantled Auburn. You know, this is a basketball team now that's starting to find itself. They didn't have their feet, in the first game, and of course it was probably one of the ugliest games you'd ever want to try to watch, the first time because nobody could score, for extended periods of time. But this team, Mississippi State, is going to be a dangerous team. We need the fans out, for this game to support the team because this is really as important game as the last one or the next one will be.
You don't want to you've got that as a road win. You don't want to turn around and waste it and give it back.
Well, and the other thing is Mississippi State wasn't healthy. They were just getting healthy the first time we played them. They didn't have a full roster most of the preseason. And now if you look at moving into February, and after this Mississippi State game, their schedule gets really tough. And so you got to get those wins that are on your schedule that you can't get.
Very quickly to you two, any thoughts on Bruce Pearl coming out and glad-handing the UT student section? You don't see that very often.
I think, and that's Bruce being Bruce to me. I mean, that's who he was. That's who he always has been. I would have bypassed that. And those guys weren't students when he was here, so it's not necessary for him to go down there and do that. He probably should have exited out the way he came in my opinion.
All right, very good, guys. When we come back, we thought we'd talk about Donnie Tyndall and basketball, and every week something new happens in Hattiesburg, Mississippi that could have an impact on Donnie Tyndall's tenure here at Tennessee. We'll discuss that when we come back. Still plenty of recruiting to come. We got football to come. Lots more in today's Sports Source. Come on back.
Decks, dens, homes. Turn to Benedict Construction.